Welcome back to Radio Free Fredonia, where we are going to talk to Todd tonight. Todd is in the hot seat. I need you to imagine, Todd, one of those 60s, but it's the newer style, so it's really supposed to look 1920s black and white film, with you tied to the chair and the big light on you so we can grill you appropriately.
Yeah, I mean, I could, but my disconnect button works pretty good, too.
No. You can't disconnect. You're tied to a chair, Todd. Pay attention. We're building a scene. All right. Really quick for everyone out there, in case you just happen to be popping in. I'm Andi. I have my co-host, Lady Styx, our official, unofficial co-host, Mr. Pink. With us tonight is our special guest, Todd, who is the line developer for Aetherstream. We'll be talking about Leviathan and Aetherstream stuff tonight. Also, let's see who we got. I got Dire Sith, we've got Hexile, and of course, always right, Matty. So welcome everyone. You guys all know you can talk, you can type questions, whatever works, whatever makes you happy. How you doing tonight, Todd?
Busy, but productive, so that's good. Well, I was productive. Then I got dragged into some sort of podcast.
Are you starting with me, Todd?
Oh, I'm starting.
You starting? Hell yeah, let's make this fun. All right.
Ooh,
okay, Mr. Pink has a question. Is this sexy or fun tied to a chair? Or are we being more menacing? I think we're sexy fun tied to a chair. I don't know how that's going to look for Todd, but whatever makes it work for Todd, you know. We're equal opportunity around here.
Works for me.
Spanish Inquisition comfy chair. I don't think the Spanish Inquisition had comfy chairs. They had spiky ones. They were definitely spiky chairs.
The Monty Python ones did, though.
Yes, but that's a little different. All right. So, hey, Todd, I have my personal opinions about the Babylonian fleet. Why don't you tell us your impressions of the Babylonian fleet? What were you going for as a designer?
That's a good question. I'm thinking wanted something that invoked old school style and power.
Okay, I can see that. I like to refer to it as muscle car sexy.
Yep. Their designs may be a little in the past, but they still very good.
See, I don't feel like they're in the past. I feel like they're aggressive and beefy. But I don't think that that's in the past.
Well, in the setting, they're a little out of date, but
Mr.
Pink, they've been making good changes.
Hexile, I think probably the quickest and easiest, since I don't know that Ross has sent me more pictures like he's supposed to yet, is on the Kickstarter campaign, which I have put all over social media 3 times and again, over and over. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm probably in trouble for tomorrow's if it wasn't out today. Just so you know, Todd, I might get fired.
Why? What'd you do? Or didn't you do?
I made some social media posts.
Oh, that stuff's harmless.
I'm pretty sure they're very blatantly dick jokes.
What? Us? No.
Yeah. One of them was worse than the other.
You're going to make me go look at social media, aren't you?
Oh, if you haven't been watching, I have made several social media posts that are blatantly making size matters jokes. Like blatant size matter jokes. Like you cannot.
But we're talking about our big spaceships.
So okay, here you go. It's tomorrow's that's the worst one, I think. So today's was, I hate it when people say size doesn't matter. It makes me feel as if I have this huge spaceship for nothing. But of course, the original joke doesn't say spaceship. And tomorrow's is worse.
Nice.
Yeah, is it bad when you're now actively looking up dick jokes for social media content?
Maybe
Maybe.
we'll let the
Yes,
public decide.
yes, it is.
It is? See, you always are against me, though, Lady Styx. Every time I have a brilliant plan, she's like, no, we can't talk about hookers and blue again. Blah, blah, blah.
I am not. Wait a minute. I do not sit back in the corner conniving on ways to thwart you.
Yes, you do.
That is not
Yes, you do.
my job. I'm supportive
I'm
far more
convinced of it.
often than not. But I am very sure that there are better ways that you can spend your time than looking up bad dick jokes.
No, bad dick jokes is
to
all I've got
build
left
a
right
marketing
now.
campaign on.
That is all I have is bad dick jokes. Googling dick jokes is not sad. And I'm not very good at making up jokes on my own. That's why I had to Google them.
I mean, it is a little sad.
It is
Hey,
not.
I'm just putting my little bit of judgment.
All
in
right,
there.
fine. You guys come up with the dick jokes and I'll post your dick jokes. I'm easy.
I could get in trouble for.
I'm
Like
trying to
real
get in trouble. Have you not noticed I've been trying to get in trouble this entire campaign? I figure he might not fire me from everything, but maybe I can get fired from social media. So, for all of you listening,
Well,
please message Ross and tell him you are very offended. Offended at what Andi posted this
He
week.
can't do that, or we would have no social media.
That's a him problem. My problem is how to get fired. I'm just working that.
You know, other than our, all of us developers, one per year. So, I guess if you could get us to time it, that would be like one developer posts one thing in a month. But
No, we only have like 3 developers, and yeah, no. No, you
I'm
guys,
trying to.
you are trying. You're trying. So I know that I really like the look of the Babylonian fleet. I really do. I think it's just big and aggressive, and I really like that for some reason. But I also do like muscle cars over racy cars. So
Instead of being offended, can we just highlight the post and send it to Ross saying that you're talking about him?
I think that's up to Carol to decide if I'm talking about Ross. I mean, unless you could repost it, which is good for me because it's good for the algorithms. But if you repost it, you have to repost it to hashtag space Pope Ross. That part's important. Dear Space Pope Ross, did you see what Andi wrote? See? It's great.
About you.
About you. Wait until tomorrow's come out and then we'll see how I don't even remember.
That's a pretty good comparison, Hexile. The Babylonian fleet aesthetic is that, yeah, they are trying to emulate the old Commonwealth, like prior to the, 1,000 years ago kind of deal. But, the one thing they do have going for them is big honking generators or reactors in their ship. So they got plenty of power to do it.
What does that mean as far as
I think
gameplay?
it's really well designed.
Sorry, what does big
For
honking
gameplay?
generators do as far as like my ship versus your ship?
Well, for the Babylonian captain, that'll definitely help that they don't have to watch their power management nearly as much as some of the other factions. There's still something they got to keep an eye on, but a lot of their ships will be a little easier to spread the power around and manage more systems simultaneously.
Okay.
So
You
what
did a
do
good
they?
job.
What do they need to pay attention to then?
Well, as pointed out, they are utilitarian frames and a little bit of out of style. They're not very maneuverable.
Okay. So they're lots of power, not as much finesse.
What's the range?
Right.
Like, what kind of engagement range are they operating with?
For their weapons.
Yeah.
They follow a style similar to their fighters, the Babylonian fighters, which they like to engage at medium range, ideally.
Interesting. This is a very realistic. We're talking science fiction, but this feels like a very organically grown thing because I can see. All right, this must have been a cruiser. This must have been a long hauler. You know, these ships probably had very different jobs at one point.
Todd, is
Yep,
he
and that's
right?
kind of what we're going for. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Because in the setting lore, the big warships are a more recent thing. There was a long time where there was a lot. Everything was a lot more peaceful. So warship development is kind of an analog to like World War One when they everybody starts to build bigger and bigger ships, trying to catch up and compete.
The super destroyer race.
Exactly, which leads us to the Leviathan class.
I personally
The
think
funny.
it's a little more visible in the Terran Commonwealth fleet. But yeah, absolutely, it's certainly intended.
I must say, I mean, I do not know anything about Aetherstream or the Leviathan and stuff, but I think design-wise, it really does tell the story you're trying to tell.
Well, thanks. That's good news.
I always like when he seems so surprised. You do such a great job, Todd. Quit being surprised. You're so good at these things. So, which has been your?
I mean, if you would feel better if we say, "Hey, Todd, you suck," we could do that too.
No, we
but
can't do that,
I
Mr.
get plenty
Pink.
of that too.
We can't do that, Mr. Pink, because he doesn't
we
suck.
can.
We can't. He doesn't suck. We don't lie.
I mean, that's what going on internet forums is for, to get all that kind of.
Oh yeah.
You have
get
to
all
take
the
internet
toxic you
forums
want
with
on there.
like more than a grain of salt. Because there are people who just seem to want to be hateful just to be hateful.
Isn't Discord kind of an internet forum?
It is, but we have a happy, healthy, functioning group here in our Discord. Not everybody's Discord has that, unfortunately.
Functioning.
Hey, you. We function as asshats 90% of the time, but it's functional asshattery. It's a little like functional alcoholism. So, of the 3 fleets that we have so far, so we have the Commonwealth, we have the Calistonians, and the Babylonian fleet coming out. Which is your favorite?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Ooh, that's a tough question. Because they all have designs in there I like, but if I had to pick one that was probably my favorite aesthetic overall currently.
I mean, which kid is your favorite?
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, that's an easier question.
Yeah, that's always easier because some kid has pissed one off, and that one's not my favorite today.
But I would have to say, aesthetic-wise, probably the Calistonians are my favorite.
Really? Am I the only one who thinks the Babylonian's the best looking fleet? It's just gotta be me.
I think those are super cool, but I just overall the whole fleet. I think I like the Calistonians.
So I know that
But
I
we still
am no
have the
good.
Allied Worlds and Free Trade Directorate, so we'll see what happens in the future.
So I know that I
have
am no good at the how to put this, doing the game in a way that makes any sense towards any feasible goal. Yeah, I'm bad at it. We'll just go with that. But if you were going to describe play style, like, so I guess the Babylonian fleet is got a lot of power, but not a lot of finesse. How would we describe the other two fleets so far?
Well, I would say Terran Commonwealth, definitely big guns, slower ships, but tough. Calistonians, while their numbers might not be as high, they have a lot more redundancy, so they can outlet other things.
Okay. So, what are the Allied worlds going to look like? As far as
Very
how they
cool.
function. Yeah, no, I know, look cool, but more guns, faster. What's their functional stick?
Well, those guys are our high technology guys. So they're probably going to be lots of energy weapons, lots of high damage, decent shields, but what their weaknesses could be, we're going to leave that up to debate at the moment.
Okay.
But they will have one.
I know the traditional weakness of high advanced tech for space stuff.
Magic.
Poor
Nah.
energy management.
That's probably going to be one of their downfalls.
Yeah, it's a huge problem with advanced, especially if you're trying to go and hit the thing where everyone's doing bigger ships. Now we have to.
Are you sure it's not
Yeah,
magic?
Well, you know, we haven't gotten too deep into the space magic yet, but we'll get there.
Ooh, that's what the space
There's
pirates
space
should all
magic?
have. They should have space magic. Of course, there's space magic. I'm not sure how Todd's fitting that in, but of course. Everybody wants space magic, right, Lady Styx?
But space magic is Jedi, not pirates.
Why can't we have it where it's pirates? Sorry.
Are we
No,
doing
it can
science
be-
fiction or science fiction fantasy? Because I believe they are separate things.
They are not necessarily as separate as you think. For what is
they're
technology
only
but magic that you know, or what is magic but technology you can't explain?
It's a difference between hard sci-fi and sci-fi.
Well, and I can say we are definitely not in the category of hard sci-fi. With my understanding of physics, we might as well just have space magic too.
I mean, you can't do a hard sci-fi game with spaceships because you would have ships shooting at each other from literally hundreds of miles away.
Well, until it hits something, it keeps going because space. It just makes for really boring television and movies because you'd be like, doo 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 doo. When is that bomb gonna show up?
Yeah.
And, you know, based on the sci-fi and magic, you know, I kind of remember Shadowrun said there's not much magic in space.
Yeah, but who said Shadowrun was right? Unreliable narrators.
Yeah, you know, and the one thing, I mean, you know, and Matty can probably attest to this, is a lot of my early writing, I try to fit in as much realism as possible, and the more you try to fit in, the more rules you have, and the less of a good game it makes.
This is true.
Never let rules get in front of a good time.
Exactly. I mean, you have like, this isn't the right word, but basically like space portals. And that's how people move around, right?
Wormholes?
Kind of, but I don't think that's what they're calling
Okay.
them.
We do. We have gates,
Gates. There you go.
Are they... So are
but
they...
there's only a few of those. Mostly people jump.
All right, is jump as in going super fast or folding space?
Or not
As in
explained.
super fast.
Mwahaha.
Going.
Oh.
It's explained. No, they go into the Aetherstream. They travel via other dimensional
Okay.
travel.
So, all right, so...
So they're folding
dimensional
time and
based on
space.
punch-
That's
they're punching
magic.
a hole.
That's magic.
There's
In a
a
nutshell.
way there's a way to do it. We just don't have resources to do it. Like, theoretically, you could do it with science, but I don't know how you'd survive it.
Science.
Yeah, you have to say it that way first. That's the first step. Is you have to hold your hand up like you're
Science!
making a number one. Science! And you have to have some oomph with it. Yeah.
Science!
That, yes,
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm now hearing the she blinded me with part as well.
Also appropriate.
He blinded me with science.
Because if you're blinded, you don't notice that it's really magic. See?
So
I'm not helping him, I'm
magic is a hard thing to explain because it's, as long as it fits in with the logic of the world, it's not technically, it doesn't have to be magic.
Shh. I'm giving Todd a hard
There's a whole
time.
narrative. Oh, never mind. It must be magic.
Obviously. Thank you. Okay, so
I'm not-
But I agree with you, Hexile, and I think we've done laid some groundwork along those lines to have some mystical elements within the game as well.
Your design is pretty bang up because you could really tell what you're seeing
okay.
with just having a little bit of sci-fi knowledge.
Honestly, they've done an amazing job. They really have. Todd and Ross have done an amazing job. I mean, this is a game that's a miniature war game that even I could play. I can learn the base rules. They managed to teach me in about a game. And that's in itself an accomplishment. And it's not an awful game. It's not, trust me, I've sat through games and been like, please stop making me do this. No, you have no idea. No, it's a heck of a compliment. Like, I don't actually like miniature wargaming. And so most of the time I'm just like, please stop. I don't even want to hear about this anymore. Please leave me alone. But Aetherstream is actually so well done and so easy to pick up that I don't actually put you on mute and do something else. Look. If I have to listen to one more Warhammer lore thing, I might stab a bitch.
So what's really cool about Warhammer?
The really cool thing about Warhammer is that if I ever play the RPG, I'm going to play a character named Princess, who's an Orcsis, and Princess is the bestest Orcsis, because Princess has all the colors on Princess's stuff, because that makes Princesses the bestest. Because the colors mean something, and as long as Princess believes that it works, it fucking works. And I don't play Warhammer, and I now have that much knowledge, and I didn't want any of it. But I like Aetherstream, and I like Leviathan. I know for me that the point allocation for movement seems to be a little easier on my head sometimes than the movement chart. Is there a reason as a developer, though, Todd, that you decided not to use the same movement chart for Leviathan like you have in Interceptor?
Yes. Have you seen the size of those things?
Just because the ships are so big? Yeah. I guess that could be a big part of it.
Yeah, well, we have much larger ships. We have the different stand sizes, so the 2 hex, 3 hex, 4 hex. So
you have to have a new,
like 3 separate ships. Yeah, so it's just
okay. So it couldn't just be
go
off of the front hex, and that's the. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
See,
I mean,
I'm
it probably
learning.
could, but then it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot of other, design considerations. And
See,
I think our movement system is simple enough.
I
with
think
your
so.
space magic thing, though, I now want to see space Therans where they've got giant ships, no power plant, but you're sacrificing people for everything you do.
Man, I should let you loose on my really old notes before.
Oh, so you have space Therans in there somewhere?
We
Space
don't, but
Therans.
we might have at one point in the past, like 16 or 17 revisions ago.
Oh,
That's
But the
just
notes probably still
very
exist.
40k though.
Sorry, what was
Like,
that, Matty?
that is just so 40. It's just so 40k. We can't do it.
We can too.
That whole
We just don't require
that
people
whole
to.
sacrificing shit. No. We don't want to fucking that. We don't want to copy that bullshit.
No.
hey, I said space
40K is
Therans, and
bullshit.
Therans have been around for a long time now.
That's
Yeah,
true.
and sacrificing people for magical energy of some superpowered spaceship and or god emperor. No.
I mean, what do you think Aztec blood technology is? Sorry, blood magic, blood technology. Same difference.
As technology reserves
On
the
a
right
much
to all
smaller
blood
scale.
magic.
See, my thing is as long as we're not having giant hissy fits because you didn't paint your ship pretty enough, meh. Like I can't stand that. You have to have it painted or it can't be in.
I am literally right now, as this is going on, I am writing a blog post instructional on how to get started painting Leviathan for a new person who is totally new to it.
See, like I like painting because I paint miniatures. We have the disagreements on certain paints that shall remain nameless, although one time you're not right. But it's you have to paint it to a degree of the competition to have it at a competition tournament. Why can't? What does it matter if it's painted at the tournament? Like, really? What?
Because that sells product.
Look at the price.
You
of
have to
paints,
have the
and it all
thing.
makes sense.
Well, yeah, the paints can get pricey.
And Andi, Warhammer would support your princess thing
It would.
because that would mean people would have to buy all the fucking colors, and those ain't cheap.
Oh, dude. Because the purple makes me invisible and the red makes me faster and the blue makes me shoot better, something like that. But yes. And believe it or not, I've never played. Ever. Don't plan on it's not that it's a bad game, it's just not my gig. But so many friends into it that you start to pick up pieces of it.
That's how I learned about Star Wars.
Yeah, but I like Star Wars.
I don't, but I know too much about it.
How do you not like Star Wars? Sit in the corner. You shush it. Or tonight, you have to sit in the corner.
All right, I will go move into the corner. It's just the English major snob thing. I now know where all plot lines come from, and I get very little push from them.
Plot lines. Nobody cares about plot lines. We just all want lightsabers. Don't be crazy. So, Todd, I do have important questions. Couple important questions. One, I know that you had a game at Gen Con that was not the standard intro level demo.
I did.
And I didn't get to hear much about it, so I was hoping you would tell me about it.
Did you not read my blog post that has the whole thing detailed out?
Yeah, that was last weekend?
Yeah, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. I was still getting over the con crud, so no. Didn't read it. Not yet. It is on my list. I never get it. This is the stupidest 20 plus years haven't gotten con cred. 1 year I have to take stupid steroids. Grumble, grumble. All right, so tell me about it, Todd. And then I won't have to read your blog post. See? This makes my life easier. Tell me a story, I don't have to read it.
So motivating for us writers.
It is.
I don't want to read your stuff.
Oh, the pain I feel.
Oh, I do want to read your stuff.
It didn't sound like it.
I just don't want to read that one because you're going to tell me about it now. I saved this so that I could talk about it here, so that I could then take this and put it on the YouTubes, which is like the Tiki Talks, but different. Longer. It's longer than Tiki Talks. So that everybody else can hear about it, who may or may not have read your blog.
Okay, well, so what we did was we set up a scenario. So, big scenario, lots of points. So we're putting our point system to the test. Built out fleets for the Calistonians, built out fleets for the Terran Commonwealth. They decided to have more players go at it. You know, put together a nice scenario. The Calistonians trying to drive the Commonwealth out of a system and scare off a Leviathan. So, let's see, get a bunch of little ships, scare off some really big ships. Turns out, maybe. So, you know, we only have a test case of one, which is, you know, one scenario we ran. But the Calistonians did come out ahead. I will leave the details to those that want to read it. But there was a lot of damage and carnage in the meantime.
Okay, so
Woo-hoo,
I know
damage and carnage.
we like damage and carnage. Yes, good job. So we actually had a question that came through a couple of different times over Gen Con at the booth. And it was, well, what if I wanted to play all three fractions against each other? Okay. You can do that? Of course you can. You could play, once all five factions are out, all five against each other. And somebody had asked me about scaling up, and I was very confused at first. Like, I thought, like, making the hexes bigger. And then I figured out that they meant things like playing 3, 4, 5 fleets against each other, right? Or playing, instead of a 500-point game, playing a 750-point game. I now know the answer to this. So how does scaling up go? Does it work well? As much as we've played it? What do you think? What are your thoughts on it?
I thought it worked pretty well. So we had 1,500 points each side statted out, but I had them coming in waves. So the initial force for each side was 750 points, which was a pretty sizable task force, but not unmanageable for, you know, 2 or 3 players. We ran with 6 at the table, and what I did was basically split them in sides. So not everybody had like a single ship that they controlled, although it ended up working out that way. But really, it was side versus side, and here's the ships at your command, here's the fighter groups at your command, and it did scale pretty well. Now, if you wanted to put 6 maps together and pull out 10,000 points, I mean, you're going to spend a long time. I mean, you know, there's no. But, you know, for a decent fleet size battle, you know, and I thought, you know, I think we have some pictures floating around out there. You know, it looked pretty impressive on the table.
I think that's what Ross and I had talked about. Maybe you and I had talked about at Gen Con, was that if you have more factions, it takes longer. If you play higher point values, it takes longer. It plays just fine. Just know it will take longer.
Yes, just because you have that many more units to cycle through and move, and
it was,
you know, everything else.
Kind of like the advanced rules. The more advanced rules you throw in, the longer it takes because there's more to keep track of. Seems to be about. So scalability is peachy.
However, when using some of the advanced rules, it does help move things along as well, though. Like, we do have the morale, you know, a whole morale system. In which case, you know, in real life, most people aren't fighting to the bitter end when they're drowning in the ocean. You know, it happens, but, you know, a lot of times, if you have the ability to retreat and save your ship and come back another day and retake the field, you know. So there is a morale system that some ships get more beat up, or if they have a really bad captain, they might be bugging out a little early, and that'll start clearing your field quick.
We do have super gravity combat in the forthcoming campaign supplement, along with altitude band in not open space. Okay. Okay, so for being above or below, is surrender an option? You can always surrender, but then you have to claim that you're France, and I don't know that we have a France fleet. Yeah, I said that. Surprised Lady Styx isn't griping at me again.
Good news, because we're working on the gravity well rules as we speak.
So
I love the concept of an in-system fight with a gravity well, because that's more than likely where you actually would be fighting.
Now, again, my physics, you know, as Matty can attest, I started out getting all really fancy and stuff, and then realized it just wasn't playable. So we've simplified it a little bit, but I'm hoping it gets the feel across.
Cool.
I should also just clarify right here and right now, we have cheap, easy anti-gravity technology as a foundational principle and technology of the setting. So gravity don't really mean shit if you don't want it to.
All right.
Fighting in open space makes as much sense as fighting around something else that doesn't have a gravitational field of its own.
It does. It does in like a lot of science fiction, but it doesn't in like actual how space combat would most likely work out logically going from where we have as combat. Like most places you're going to have engagement of places of importance.
Space combat with our current level of technology and ability to overcome gravity makes no sense at all whatsoever.
Oh yeah.
Spaceships make no sense. Space fighters make no sense. It's just retarded.
Cool.
Believe me, I know. I've tried. I've spent many thousands of hours trying to do it in Kerbal Space Program. It don't work.
Like, yeah, it's space combat would never work the way it does in sci-fi, but then we would never have mechs, and I don't want to live in a world where mechs aren't a thing.
That's another forthcoming program.
We're working on these.
Yeah, so.
But we're.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
in real life, we're working on mechs. I mean, what do you think the exoskeleton suits are? They're basically mechs.
Yeah.
Those are power armor.
I was going to say,
I'm throwing
just
stuff
like
at you.
Technology, like in the Aetherstream setting, you know, like the technology level, like Matty said, that we do have access to, you know, anti-grav technology, but
cheap, easy, and prolific anti-grav technology.
Yes. But I still see that, you know, there still would be a lot of fights around, you know, planets and other, you know, important resources, just because the defenders have their, you know, defenses built up around there. Why would they go out and meet them in deep space when they can just wait, you know, come to us and we can, you know, get you with the, you know, ground emplacements.
Okay. So they have enough tech to have like system-free star bases?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
In
that
fact,
opens a lot of possibility.
You can get models of it in this Kickstarter, the Babylonian Union Kickstarter. It's called The Care.
Wow.
It's fucking awesome.
And you should get
and
like
it's huge.
4 to 5 of them and put them together.
Oh, I'm getting
That's
3,
what I think.
so...
It's what I think all the cool kids at home should do.
That's right. So the Kickstarter has several other things in it, such as the space station and the special carrier unit and what I was referring to as the communication thingy, but Ross kept saying that that's not the technical name, which is VCLA, which means literally freaking communication thingy. Sorry.
VLCA. Very large
communication
communications
array, i.e. communication thingy. But yes.
But I will say you were right the first time, or you're technically right, which is, the best kind of right.
But
Technically correct.
So I know the space station can be used as something to fight over. I know that it can also fight because it has weaponry and things like that. And eventually when you get to
The big
co-op,
one? Yes.
when you get to co-op rules, you could have everybody fighting against the space station or a space station fighting against something else, whatever. There you go, Matty. I like that. $1,000 donation, and Matty's going to write you into a story and not tell Todd. That seems perfect. I like that.
I think if I had $1,000 to spend on something, I would do that specifically.
I would too. So what I was going to say is...
I mean, if somebody wants to give me $1,000, I'll write them into a story, and I will tell me.
So what I was going to say is how do you use the special carrier unit or the communications thingy in a game?
Well, that's what the campaign guide's going to help us with.
Which is also
We're
in the
gonna have,
Kickstarter, isn't it?
It is, yes.
It is.
Our campaign
Amazing.
source book is in the Kickstarter.
Get your parents' credit cards.
So the campaign source book...
We're going to provide... So we have stats for them, and we're going to have, there'll be mission... there could be mission goals, or, your side, maybe you need to protect it, maybe you need to destroy it, or, maybe it's just hanging out there and got caught in the middle.
Oh, that is a question I had about Aetherstream, because I'm getting supremely interested in this. Is there essentially electronic warfare?
Is there? Yes. Have we find a lot of it? Not so much yet. The level of electronic warfare we have is probably more baked into the stats of the ships than anything that's been blatantly put out there yet. But I am starting to get some ideas for it that may slip into the campaign guide. So,
because that is such an oft overlooked part of this kind of combat, and I think that's a shame. But I mean, any space combat you get.
It reminds me of going back to BattleTech and how in the old days, mechs are absolutely loaded down with ECM and jamming and counter jammers and counter jammers and literally tons of EW equipment just built into the chassis, so much so that it's super proliferating and it's not even a general stat, and something that just can come along and be EW enough to outdo that basic level of EW jamming and counter jamming and counter jamming and all of that doesn't come along until way deep, like the Raven. It's just fucking... It's so prolific that you don't even bother mentioning it. And that's how I've kind of seen it in Aetherstream so far. But I kind of want a technology for the AW that is like the Aegis Shield, except it dampens reactor output.
yeah.
See,
but it also dampens the reactor output on the carrying ship. So,
so
if you know Gundam at all, I'm thinking neutron jammers from Gundam Seed.
Yeah. I mean, there's enough that is ubiquitous across space combat that you can kind of understand the lingo, because it all stems from the same place. but yeah, I love electronic warfare, but I could think of, like I said, at least 3 solid narrative reasons to not have it.
But yeah, I haven't. Yeah, we definitely haven't dove into it probably like we should at some point. But
I don't think 3 reasons is enough. If Matty wants it, we should try to make that go. Just saying.
Well, that means I have to write the
Oh.
rules, and no one wants me writing rules. Especially
I mean,
See,
oh, you
because
do
my
fine.
Unless
my
you can
rules
yell
are batshit
con.
insane, and you keep saying no.
Unless you
Maddie,
can
be
scream
careful.
con, you know. 'Cause
I
you
was
have
going
to
to say,
take
Maddie,
time.
be careful what you wish for. You might just end up having to write it yourself.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid that. I will write things, but I can't write entire things, as my boarding combat game sadly languishes.
Oh, we'll get around to it. Don't worry.
See, now are we going
We'll
to
get to that.
boarding combat after Leviathan, or are we going to the ground?
So when we're going to the ground, probably.
That is the ground is the theory, but
who knows?
so
We're
But who
crazy
knows?
here.
let me finish one
Making-
book first before we get to the next.
I think making an infantry skirmish game would be way simpler than making a boarding fighting game.
Well, infantry skirmish would be the boarding combat, and we have more massed infantry for ground combat by what I understand potential plans would be.
I mean, that's what I meant. I meant massed, because like the ideal boarding game would be almost like playing Rainbow Six in space.
Yeah, basically. Think,
Yeah, I have a bad taste
Space
of
Hulk.
boarding action in space from Noble Armada, so
Yeah, but that's very different, and I wouldn't do that to you. Just while we've got space magic and throwing physics totally out
And
the
if he
window.
does, we're going to ask you where Maddie touched you on the doll. It'll be okay. We promise.
Have to stick the finger inside the ear.
but I'm not opposed to it.
Andy,
So.
What? What did I say now?
I said ear.
Yeah, he said ear. And he said it. I was being good.
If I cringe any harder, I'm gonna turn into a ball.
Okay, we've got about 10 minutes left. What do you want people to know about the Kickstarter, Todd? That apparently I can't
That
get
it's
across
there?
in dick jokes.
That it exists?
That's it.
I don't know.
I want people to know that part too.
Yeah, it's. I'm biased, but I think it's a great product, and I just would like people to, at least give it a shot. Even if you went on the Kickstarter and you just pick out your favorite ships and get the starter set.
I mean, I will be honest. Everybody who played it that I got any feedback from Origin or Gen Con, liked it.
Oh, and that's the same feedback I get every time I run it too. It's just getting it out in front of people. That's our challenge. And it's always been our challenge.
Yeah.
As you well know.
As I well know. I mean, I'm now making dick jokes, so
Yeah.
I don't
How
know
far
if this
we
is
have
my
fallen.
new level of pay attention to me, or if this is I've fallen so far, what else could I say they don't get it?
Andy, let's face it. You would tell dick jokes even if you weren't trying to make it go. I mean, the fact that you can get away with doing dick jokes and make it go is good, but you would still be trying to do dick jokes at some point. Because it's most of the time they're funny. Just saying.
Yeah, maybe a little. It is always funny to see how far I can push things. I remember in the early days where I simply tried to push things by doing things like, it's St. Patty's Day. If you're not drunk, here's 10% off. Don't tell Ross. To now I'm just making blatant dick jokes. So, and calling him the Space Pope and telling people he's reptilian. You know, hey.
That is 10% I will never qualify for.
Which part? Are you not the Space Pope or are you not reptilian? Or are you afraid to tell your boss
He's
that?
not sober.
Oh, not sober.
I'm not going to be sober on St. Pat's.
Oh.
Not on... I'm a Celtic Polynesian.
There you go. All right,
And
Matty.
he's honest enough to not give himself the 10%, which is kind of sweet.
Matty, what would you want people to know about the Kickstarter? Because I know you've looked at it, backed it, shared it.
I've spent a little bit of time doing all of those things. Yeah, it's an exciting time for Leviathan and getting into Leviathan, and I still did have. I don't know if I should ask this right now, but is two-wave shipping going to be an option for people who want to get in at this point? Like, just buy existing product that we already have available right now and get that shipped first before the Babylonian stuff gets... Like, two-wave shipping should absolutely be a thing.
I think it should. If it's not, let me not do it on this screen because this is a recorded screen. But we will poke Ross, and so we will see what we can do to make that happen. Because poking Ross is great fun.
Yeah, two-wave shipping is absolutely the best thing out of Dance with the Serpent Kickstarter for people who want it.
Yeah,
does that just increase your shipping cost, though?
It does increase your shipping cost.
But it also gets you the stuff that already exists.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that absolutely makes sense for people who want to start playing Leviathan now because they missed the first Kickstarter, because we did such a great job of getting it out there.
Yeah, I mean, we try. I don't know. I don't know where well.
Hey, I said it very positively. If you read any sarcasm into that, that's your fucking problem.
Honestly, like I said, people really like it. If you haven't had a chance to look at it, go look at it. If you haven't looked at the videos, I guess I should apologize. Ross and I both live in third world countries that are hidden amongst the first world country of the U.S. And so our internet is sketchy at best. And apparently Todd and Ross were very tired at Gen Con a couple of years ago now. And that makes them sound flat. My bad. I have so instead of me just re-recording it this last Gen Con where you guys were like, no, we'll still be tired, I've been told I should just do a voiceover and just make up voices for you two and make it sound much more interesting. That's a great plan, right, Todd?
Remind me sometime this weekend or something, Andi. I do have some information on getting some video done for you that a guy talked to us about at Gen Con. So
better than me doing voiceovers?
Wait, Andi, you doing voiceovers, is this like your stick figure pictures? Because while there are fans that would probably enjoy that, I'm not sure.
You are slightly confused. You are slightly confused if you think I would be doing it for the fans. I would be doing it to find it funny myself. And as long as I find it funny, it's fine. It's fine. It's much like making the entire campaign actually a dick joke. It's fine. It's okay. It's hashtag
but
size
I know he
matters.
spent a lot of time. Just gonna say he spent a lot of time talking to Dave 2.0 about it. So, but I got his number too. So.
Oh, Dave 2.0 doing voiceovers?
No, doing videos.
Oh, yeah, he's a lot more tech savvy than I am.
They're both in this guy's station there in what's that state you guys are all in, Kansas or something?
I'm in Missouri, and so is Dave.
Missouri,
yeah.
He's stationed in Missouri, so he said he was like only an hour away from Dave 2.0. So
okay. Is he stationed?
Kansas, Missouri. I don't know. It's all that
Hold on.
Midwest
Is he
nonsense.
stationed, so therefore actually at like a military base?
Right.
The only military
I'm pretty
base
sure
I
I know
think
which
is
one
Fort
is that.
Leonard Wood, and that's a little more than an hour away. But
No, it was somewhere else.
Not, not
That was
from
definitely
me.
not it.
Not from me.
not from you, but from me. But I think that's the only one, unless he's in a Kansas one.
Yeah, I don't know. He said he wasn't that far from Dave 2.0, so
Okay. I was gonna say Fort Leonard Wood's what, 2 hours from me, maybe 2.5, 3, closer to 3, 2.5 to 3.
Oh. yeah. I don't remember exactly where he said it was. That doesn't sound right though. So, or that doesn't sound like what he said.
But that's okay.
So I'm not sure. But I do have his number, so
Well, there we go.
we'll take it offline, but we'll see if we can get something going.
Yeah.
I told him I'd follow up on it, so this is me following up.
You told me about it, kind of, sort of, and call that. Yeah, like,
Yes.
for this company, that sounds right. It does, doesn't it?
That's about right. Yes.
That's about how. Woo! All right. Hexile, is there anything else you would like to know about the Babylonian fleet that we haven't covered with Todd? You'll have another chance to bug Ross next week, but this week with Todd, is there anything we haven't? And you. You're both going to be here. That's even better. It'll give me time to practice my voiceover work of you two.
I would like to know just if there's going to be like written up scenarios, like regularly coming out in the future.
Okay, that's a two-part question. Yes, there's going to be written up scenarios. Regularly coming out remains to be seen.
That's fair. That's very fair.
The
But yes.
intention is yes, but without
Yes.
undercutting selling product.
Right.
That's
But my
It's
goal
kind of
is,
like,
is absolutely to start doing written scenarios. It's some like when I get the
Tournaments.
campaign guide done.
Tournaments,
Yes,
hopefully, for
things
next
along
year.
those lines.
Yeah.
Like the scenario I wrote that I ran at Gen Con this year with the Leviathan, then is going to. I've got it mostly written up. I'm just waiting to finalize campaign rules, and then I'm going to put that online.
All right,
and
Mr.
once a year is still regular.
It is. it is.
Once every 3 years is still regular.
As long as it's every 3 years, hey. Mr. Pink, Lady Styx, Dire Sith Lord. I know you don't talk in here often, but you could type. Is there anything that you guys that we didn't cover tonight that we should have?
I will think about it and try to come up with a question for next week when it's Ross and
I don't know enough
the
about
crew.
Aetherstream to actually come up with good questions, which is my problem.
Oh, didn't come
But
up
yeah,
with
for
bad
me, no,
questions. That's
I'm
okay.
kind of- yeah.
Because trust me, one, somebody out there has the same question, whether it's a good or a bad question. And two, sometimes it's fun to watch their brain weasels like, what was I just asked? What the fuck was that? It's fun for the rest of us. It's good. No? All right. It's been an hour. Todd, as always, thank you for showing up. I will be happy to see you again next week. We will find some ways to try to bug Ross. If I'm still allowed to be anywhere near anything social media-esque after tomorrow's bad joke comes out. We'll see. Mr. Pink, as always, it's an honor. Matty, you know we love you, Matty. Hexile, I am so glad you are so active in the community lately. It's been great. And Lady Styx, thanks for not killing me. You guys all want to say goodnight?
For now.
For now.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Yep. Good night. Enjoy. Happy week.
Bye, everybody.
Good night. And if I can get this thing to work. There we go. All right. Now, really good night.